Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you as always for tuning in and listening and engaging. We appreciate it. We have lined up for you today an awesome interview with not one, but two people. It's an incredible husband-wife team. It's Jeremy and Shanon Johnson. Jeremy and Shanon, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here so much. Hey, why don't we start with just sharing real quick where you're located? Where in the Ninja Nation are you?
So we call it Hampton Roads, Virginia, but I think most people know it from we are close to Williamsburg and Yorktown, Virginia.
Perfect. Great. Beautiful part of the country. Also worth sharing right up front. Both of you are retired military.
Yes.
We appreciate your service. Share a little bit real quick about that.
So both Shanon and I retired from the Air Force in 2022. I did 24 years and she did 20. And we retired out of Langley Air Force Base here in Hampton Roads area. But yeah, absolutely loved it. And a big reason why we got into real estate, I don't mean to jump ahead, but just love being able to give back. And majority of our clients are military. So we're very abreast with the VA loan.
Yeah, right. That's terrific. And again, thank you for your service. What's great about when we're recording this, we are recording this on November the 6th. We're just a few days away from Veterans Day. Very fitting that we would have you here today. The whole Ninja Nation appreciates your service. You have a really interesting story about starting in real estate, kind of a fun story. So would you share that story?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was 2018, back end of 2018. And we started to feel the nudge of that, hey, maybe it was time to retire from the military. We didn't know what we wanted to do afterwards. And so Shanon always said she would do government work. She just loved it that much, but I wanted to do something different. So the funniest part of the story is we were going to Walmart one day and we were at a stoplight and then the car in front of us had a real estate license plate. And without saying, I looked over at her and at the same time she looked at me and I was like, you ever thought about doing something like real estate? I think that'd be kind of cool. The next day, we called our mentor who had sold and bought with him 3 times in this area and asked him what he thought, set up a lunch. He said, you guys got the personality for it. You got the built-in sphere for it. I think it's a great idea, but it takes 3 years to kind of launch being an agent, as all you guys know. So he recommended that we started in 2019, 3 years before we retired. So burned the midnight oil for 3 years, but it really got us, I think, launched us perfectly.
Launched you perfectly. That's awesome. So are you saying it was a license plate? That's what we're crediting as a license plate. If it wasn't for that license plate.
I say no. Yeah. I feel like God called us to do it. I felt like it was really on our hearts. And the license plate, because we originally thought our life was pretty planned out after retirement with government work, but I think the license plate triggered the conversation that we needed to have. I am not crediting a license plate.
It sparked the topic, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Maybe a little bit to do with it, but not everything to do with it.
I know factually we never talked about it before seeing that license plate. So
That's fair.
It sparked the conversation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
So you are Ninja coaching clients. You work with Coach Shelley Culbertson, who, by the way, works with a lot of husband-wife teams. Tell us a story of you deciding to hire a coach after you had experienced Ninja and come to say, you know what, I think we want to hire a coach. Tell us about that.
Yeah. For those of us that do operate, or anyone that's really married, you understand that dynamic between a husband and wife. And so after we did the Ninja installation, there were things that each of us really latched onto and things that the other one didn't. And so I actually approached you after the installation and talked to you, and you're like, I have the perfect coach for the two of you. And I remember that conversation, and we met with her because what we needed was someone to balance the two of us out. And she did that. Not only is she encouraging, but she really does balance us out when we are both off kilter. She kind of lines us back up, and maybe is that third party mediator that sometimes I think a husband and wife need, especially when you run a business together.
Yeah, you told me that you feel often that Shelley is like your third partner in the business.
Absolutely. Yeah. She kind of guides the ship when the ship is going a little off.
Yeah, she can tell when we're not synced on whatever the topic may be, and just has a very smooth way of kind of weaving it in.
She's a ninja for sure.
Yes,
She's
she
a
is a
ninja.
ninja.
He's a ninja through and through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that ties to our theme. So our theme today, guys, is how to be a productive, on purpose real estate couple. There are a lot of couples out there. There are a lot of people thinking about forming a team with their spouse or partner. And so this is going to be all about that. The two of you are very productive. You have closed so far this year. And again, here we are in early November. You've closed 44 transactions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. The way that your year is set up is that your fiscal year ends at the end of November. And so you told me you're on pace to close 47 for your year. That's awesome. That's terrific. As an individual, as a team, as a couple that have that level of production, that is great. So that's where you are now. Where were you before Ninja? What kind of production were you doing before you were introduced to Ninja?
The year before we joined Ninja, we did 30 transactions. We've been doing it for 6 years now. Our first year was 3 transactions. Our second year was 12. And our third year was 24. And then 30. And then we joined Ninja and did 38 last year and 44 this year.
Yeah. So you're having your best year so far. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're way up in a market that's not way up. Your market is not increasing at that level, but there you are doing it and doing it as a couple. One thing that really works for you are real estate reviews. We talk about these frequently in the podcast, and we talk about them frequently because people frequently they need help, they need encouragement, they need guidance, they need to hear from people who are doing it. You have a really effective real estate review process. So can you walk us through how you do your real estate reviews?
Yes. And I feel like if I can say anything coming off the installation, I was the picture of analysis paralysis. When it came to the real estate review process, I was crippled by the idea of it. I could not wrap my head around it. Thank the Lord for Shelly. So our coach really helped me navigate that and helped us establish it. So we do use focus first. And again, this ninja community does so well, right? We are so good at helping each other. I asked for folks and we ended up with 10 different versions of different real estate reviews. And I took all those and I made one that worked for us. And so our very first real estate review was 5 months after the installation, because again, I had analysis paralysis. And with that very first review, we took 3 listings, which is crazy. I mean, the first one, so we realized it doesn't always happen that way. So that for us made us a firm believer. We got a call this morning too, off of a real estate review that we put in the mail because they wouldn't respond. So I think this year alone, we had 7 transactions. This will be 8 from the real estate reviews that we do. And we've almost made it through our entire database. And again, we've only been doing this for 6 years. So our list is not massive, but we just broke it down in small chunks and did the best we could. It's been amazing. And I think it was you and Shelly that was like, hey, those folks that aren't necessarily responding, still put them in the mail, because we were stuck on having to be face to face and we weren't dropping them in the mail. But once we dropped them in the mail, reached out, called, left a voicemail, people were still responding to us. So again, thank you to you and Shelly just for giving us the little oomph that we needed to do it. But yeah, so it's a very simple process. And we always tell folks we use Ninja's words exactly. Like you check in with the doctor, we want you to know what's going on with your biggest purchase, your biggest investment. And that instantly puts everybody at ease. And they're like, yeah, I've been on Zillow. And you're like, whoa. Nothing against Zillow here. But we're like, yes, this is all we want to show you. And it's their tax records. It's the Focus First printout. I do the scattergram because I love the scattergram. And then we do the FAFHA graph from Focus First. And then we do our local demographics for that city because we do have 7 cities here. So it's a very simple, maybe 7 pages with a welcome letter. That's it. And we can present it in 5 to 10 minutes, but usually because people are so excited about the content of it, it turns into a 20, 30-minute conversation. And it's just a great catch-up session. I did one this morning over coffee. And we talked about her kids and her mother and her aunts and her sisters. It's been life-changing.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And so, what do you say when you invite people? So, you even use the example of this morning for coffee. Did she know that you were going to bring that along, or did you present it to her like, hey, I happen to bring this? Tell us how you invite people to get the information.
That's a great question because I think we were stuck on that also. I reached out and I said, hey, I'd love to catch up and meet you for coffee. We also have what's called an annual real estate review, which just kind of tells you what's going on in the market around you. We just want to keep you updated on what's happening. And that's where we end it. And folks are like, oh, okay. And we usually do, if we can tell they're hesitant, we usually at that point will be like, it'll take 5 or 10 minutes. And if they chomp on, then we set up a time to meet. If they're like, hey, life is really busy, we're like, no problem. How about this? We'll put it in the mail. And when you get it, will you FaceTime us? That has worked. We actually have a Facebook Messenger video call with an older couple that we have. And they're so sweet, but they're like, hey, we're just really busy with our grandkids. We're like, let's FaceTime. They're like, oh, we know how to use Facebook Messenger. And we're like, done. We're there.
So you tell them to reach out to you by FaceTime when they get it. Hey, FaceTime me when you get it.
Yes.
Wow. And they do it.
Yeah.
We've had nobody push back.
No. And we do the FaceTime. So because we'll have a printed copy, not as fancy as their copy, we have a printed copy that Jeremy will like point to or will point to so that they know where we are inside that real estate review.
Got it.
And I think expectation, and we talk a lot about it in Ninja as well too. So when we bring on clients, because I think we were saying earlier, we have a lot of military, so we help clients that are in Japan and Germany, and a lot of people will say, hey, just the initial buyer consult, are you free for a telephone call? And we really push the issue at that point to do a FaceTime call. So all along when we're doing our updates, Shanon does pop by. If we can't be face to face, FaceTime or things like that. So I think that has helped. You know what I mean? Nobody's fearful to get on a screen with us because that's just the way we do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Face to face is better.
Yeah, face to face. Yeah. If I can't be sitting across the table from you, I'll be sitting across the computer screen from you.
It is, but I do want to hone in on that because you really helped us with that during the real estate review challenge. Is when we've had those clients that may be a little bit more distant or introverted after you close, that clam up, that we just put it in the mail. We make it no fuss, no muss. Out of all the ones we did this year, we had about 5 people that never called us, and that was okay. We put a little note, we put an actual handwritten card in there with the real estate review, kind of explaining it and telling them we would love to talk to you on the phone or catch up with coffee.
Got it. Perfect. That's great. By the way, if anyone's curious, what Shanon referenced is just last month, we did a month-long real estate review challenge inside of Ninja Coaching. We challenged people to do as many as 40 real estate reviews for the month. So we had fun with that. So
yes,
that was fun.
Definitely spurred people into action. That's great. Thank you for sharing all that. Another thing that works for you and something you're really good at is getting your 50 live, your 50 live interviews. And this is another place within Ninja that people can feel overwhelmed by or not sure or confused. How on earth can I ever have 50 live conversations? Oh my gosh, how would I ever do that? The two of you consistently are having 50. So walk us through that. Walk us through how you're achieving those, what that looks like, how people respond.
Absolutely. Full disclosure. So we do 50 as 2. So we usually split at the beginning of the week. Hey, I'm going to do 30. If she's really busy, I'll do 40, whatever. But we always make sure that we at least get that 50 in. Where I found it really easy, and it was Shelly that really broke it down, is it's not per se 50 phone calls, right? There are so many opportunities that I'm around out and about on the town or having a coffee with a friend or whatever the case may be. And what I found is that at the end of the day, I always go back through my call log in my calendar because I had conversations we as agents get random calls all the time, right? But if I forwarded in that conversation, that counts as one of my live interviews, even if real estate wasn't per se talked about. So once Shelly helped us understand that, there's weeks we're exceeding 50 just because the phone's ringing. So it became a lot less daunting, but it's also a non-negotiable. That was something we're people persons. It's the one thing I miss most from the military is the people. We always look at it as God blessed us to have this opportunity to help individuals. So I love talking on the phone too. So it really helps out. But yeah, making it a non-negotiable, planning for it so it's not on accident. Yeah. And then the login piece is where we were struggling. Sometimes Shannon would be like, I only had 10 calls this week. I was like, you went to coffee with 3 girlfriends. She's like, oh yeah. And I said, who else was there? You went to a booster club meeting. Who else was there? She's like, oh yeah. Did you talk about their family? You forwarded them. You know what I mean? It was just, it's so much easier when you break it down into what the bites of the elephant or the pieces of the elephant or whatever Shelley says. I would almost guarantee most people are having 50 conversations a week.
The magic is when you record it. Like when you get in the habit of writing it down, that's when you can say, wow, I'm having way more conversations than I thought. And it also, it's motivating because you see that progress. It also keeps on track. It's a way to really hold to that commitment. Like you said, it's a non-negotiable. A lot of it's happening organically and it's a non-negotiable. You said that you plan for it. Tell us more about that. Does that mean it's in your schedule planned, or tell us more about what you mean by you plan for it?
Absolutely. So we have the Ninja Planner, which is a godsend, and the call logs. And then every Friday, we have about an hour and a half meeting. We'll call it our board review and kind of what's looking like for the next week. We fill out our weekly planner. We identify any clients that we want to physically call. So those are logged on the call log before we even make them. So that holds us to it for accountability piece. Hey, we haven't talked to so-and-so, or the customer service calls. Those are, I mean, really easy ones, right? We set up customer service calls on Tuesdays. All of our clients know on Tuesday, especially if you're inside of a transaction, that you're going to get a call from us. So those are all preloaded, and we're at, when the week starts, 20 to 25 logged already, you know what I mean, that we're going to make. And then, the rest kind of come organically, or Shelley challenged us this month with taking all of our, we call them our A clients. That's kind of, I know it's an old Buffini thing, but our A clients, and calling each one of them in the month of November, just to let them know how thankful you are for them. It's Thanksgiving. So our A list was 100. So that'll be, that's 2 weeks worth of data right there. So just calling them.
But what you shared, that's a big takeaway. You plan ahead of time. You're deciding ahead of time who you're going to reach out to. Monday, 8 a.m., 7 a.m. rolls around. You already have 20, 25, maybe even 30 people logged in. You know who you're going to call. So you're not on accident about it. That's what we see as a pitfall commonly, is that people hope that it will happen, or gosh, I don't know when, or things like that are not on purpose. You start the week on purpose. You know the majority of the 50 that you're going to talk to.
Absolutely. And that Ninja Planner, it's our everything. It's, you know what I mean? I won't call it a Bible, but I think in the year and a half since we've done the installation, we missed a couple weekly meetings. And as you were saying, we're thrown off. Like Monday morning hits and you're like, who are you calling? Who am I calling? So it's like Friday again, and we keep using the same word, non-negotiable. That meeting has to happen and plan ahead. And it's less daunting. We can enjoy our weekend and know Monday that we're ready to rock and roll.
Okay, so you've been talking a little bit about your routine, your schedule. Let's keep going with that. Tell us all about your routines that you have set up. Tell us what your schedule looks like. You just mentioned weekends. Are you working weekends or not? Tell us about that.
I feel like in real estate, we all work weekends. So I think what Jeremy was saying is how we start our day is that Friday meeting really allows us to look forward so we can prepare. And we started looking 2 weeks in advance because honestly, we weren't taking days off. Everyone was taking a day off by accident, right? We started planning, and then what we learned in the installation is our time is equally as valuable. And again, non-negotiable. Everybody deserves a day off. So we plan it, and we do not plan through it anymore. We used to, easily, you want to see that random house that you're not even pre-approved for? We got you. We are here. We're like, nope, I'm so sorry. We don't have time that day. Does this day work better for you? So back to the routine. I'm sorry.
So the routine, and I don't say it's easy, and don't take this start time as the time that you have to start, but we get up at 4:30. It was something we did in the military, so we just carried it on. So we get up at 4:30, feed the dogs, make the coffee, everything like that. At 5 a.m., we're sitting down, and something that Shelley taught us was habit stacking. So the day starts off with positive reading, whether it be Bible or whatever. Usually it's the Bible first. And then we're doing our Ninja 5 right off the bat. Gratitude, positive reading, affirmations are done before 7 a.m. because 7 a.m. is our gym time. So we go to the gym from 7 to 8 o'clock. That's Monday through Friday. She does Saturday sometimes. She's a little crazy. So gym, because we got to take care of ourselves, right? And be the best versions of ourselves. And if we can help it, things are not scheduled outside of the house before 10 a.m. 10 a.m. and then we go until 5:30, 6, 7 if we have to. But for the most part, our day starts at 4:30 on the off chances, but most of the time it's done around 5:30 or 6. We're sitting down having a family dinner, putting our phones on do not disturb at 8 p.m. That was a big thing I learned in the installation, how distracted I was, and that things will not happen past 8, 9 o'clock, right? Like it's not going to be the end of the world. So the do not disturb is something that Shanon helped me with. Again, setting that expectation with our buyers. They know right off the bat, our buyers or our sellers at 8 p.m. our phone goes on do not disturb. We'll be up at 5 a.m. if you want to text in, but we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Got it. So you've set office hours.
We do.
Yes.
Here you are helping with on the order of 47 transactions this year. And you have balance in your life. You have that time at the gym together every day, family dinner every night, do not disturb on your phone starting at 8 p.m. Are weekends by appointment only, pretty much? Is that kind of how you think about weekends?
Yes. And I'll tell you one other thing, Eric, before we went to the installation. So we'll talk about our mentor. His name's Marshall Tony out of Williamsburg, just a phenomenal Christian guy. Been doing real estate for about 20 years. I'll never forget before we went to the installation, that was the year that we had 30 transactions. And I called him one day, it's about a month before we went to the installation, and told him, oh my gosh, we just went live on 3 houses in one day. And he was listening, and as Marshall always does. And at the end of the conversation, he said, Jeremy, is the business running you or are you running the business? And I was like, oh man, we're running this. And then when I went to the installation, we looked at each other in the installation. I was like, it was running us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what a great check-in. That's a great question to check in on. Is it running us or are we running the business? Well, what I love to hear is that you've increased your income per hour and you have a life like that. That is the goal of Ninja Selling. You have that work-life harmony, highly productive and highly engaged with each other. You have balance, have those dinners. Okay, tell us this. This is something a lot of people wonder about, whether they partner with their spouse or not. Maybe they're thinking about partnering with their spouse. What's it like? What's it like to partner with your spouse? Now, and I say that too, I'm guessing a lot of people would say what I'm about to say. Everyone knows I adore my wife. She is amazing, incredible. And partnering with her, I don't know. I don't know if that would work out. So how do you do it? What's it like?
I'll let her talk a little bit, but I believe, I've always said I thought it was a little bit easier for us because we did the same job in the Air Force. I didn't work side by side with her. I knew she had a similar work ethic as I did, and I think she felt the same way. So I knew when we talked about seeing that license plate and going forward with it, I knew it was something that we could do. How has it been over the last 6 years? Go, Shan.
So I will say before we started, as soon as we were licensed, we sat down with 3 other couples that ran a business together. And they all said the same thing. I mean, separate conversations. They were like, lean into your natural strengths and weaknesses in your personalities and how you operate as a couple. Don't have a power struggle. Just lean into those natural tendencies. And when we did that and we listened to it, because I actually retired, my retirement's really confused. I started early. So I was running the business by myself, and then he joined me 3 months later. And learning to let that go and be like, okay, so this is his process. This is my process. And navigating that like you would how you pay your bills, how you manage your house, how you manage your schedules and your kids, I think does tell you how you will run your business. Where is that strength and weakness? But you really have to learn to let go of those things that you know that they're better at and be like, okay, that's his process. That's not my process. Is that the way I would do it? Maybe not, but that's okay. It's not wrong. It's just different. That's in a marriage book somewhere. It's
I
not
think
wrong,
so, yeah.
it's different. Yeah.
It's let go and lean in. Let go of trying to do everything. Lean into what you're really good at. Lean into believing that the person you're partnering with is going to be really good at their thing that they're going to do. Lean into trusting that and just keep leaning in and stop trying to do everything.
Right.
And I'll tell you, Eric, I remember those conversations that we had when we interviewed a couple spouse couples. One of them said, and it was an older couple, they've been doing it for a long time, and that strength and weaknesses. He said, I'm really strong on the buyer side, and she's really strong. She likes the selling side and the staging and all the details on it. And I was like, absolutely. I'm the buyer's agent, for lack of better words, and she is the seller's agent. Now, once we go under contract on the sell side, I'm dealing with the home inspection and things. Again, I do the home inspections. That's something for me. And just kind of finding that. But that was a good nugget. I don't think we took fully in until, about a year later. And it was so true. So back to Shanon's, strength and weaknesses, just knowing it, and it's okay.
Awesome. That's great. I love it. Great advice. Let's finish with this. Here you are communicating out to the whole Ninja Nation. Lots of people engaged, lots of people that you've already met, but even more that you've never met. What advice would you share? Words of wisdom, insights, input? What would you want to say to the Ninja Nation?
Don't mean to sound cliche, but the system absolutely works. It does. And Larry could have put no 3 letters better together. If you do the system works. Clients appreciate it. Expectations are set up front. It allows you to have the life that you want to live. It just motivates me each morning, even getting up at 4:30 to start it at 5:00 and have that routine. If it gets off kilter at all, I feel like my world's upside down. Doing it 4 years without Ninja, we were running a rat race and the business was running us. So the system absolutely works. Real estate reviews are a game changer. Take them one nugget at a time. Reach out. Ninja Nation is absolutely amazing. Everybody wants to help everybody. They do work. Our clients absolutely appreciate them. We didn't go in. Obviously, our opening line on an RER is it's not a sales pitch at all. The end result of it being, be 8 transactions this year, just in a general conversation, whether it be them or somebody they knew, referral. And then the thing that elevated our business the most, and I was hesitant at first, not of Shelly, but having a coach outside of the Ninja Nation, the coaches, they're just, why do you need somebody that's just going to task you with homework? And it's not that. It is elevated us. It shows in our numbers as well, too. But that would be my 3 takeaways. The system works. RERs are a game changer. And having a coach will elevate your business.
Awesome. Shanon, just ditto or anything you would add to that, Shanon?
I do agree. I think people say it. The system really does work. If you work the system, it sounds silly. And I think Jeremy said we did the Ninja 5. I mean, we get through all of them pretty fast in the morning. And I think you said it during one of our workshops this year. It's that do it with intention and that clear mind and heart that you're here to serve people. And it really does come back threefold. And then as a couple, our business really launched once we had that third party.
Got it. The third party. Amazing. That's amazing. Well, Shanon, Jeremy, thank you so much. We're really grateful for everything that you shared.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for having us. This is such an honor.
Absolutely an honor. Yes. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you being here so much. Thank you again for your service. Thanks for all the takeaways that you shared. Thanks for all that you do for the Ninja Nation. Thanks to the Ninja Nation for tuning in once again and engaging. We appreciate it. And we so look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, take care. We'll see everyone really soon. Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com to learn more about ninja selling classes and coaching to get you started or further your journey on the ninja path.
Thank you for joining us. Now go have an incredible day.